Hey guys, welcome back. So I was just about to sit down, do my makeup and film a video, and then it dawned on me that I haven't actually done like an updated everyday makeup routine in a while. So yeah, I thought I could just sit in front of the camera, chuck my usual everyday makeup products on my face, talk to you guys a little bit about them, and yeah, if you'd like to see how I do my makeup on a daily basis, please stay tuned. So first of all, I'm just gonna add some lip balm. This is just the Dr. Lip Nipple Balm, I think it's called. I literally think it's supposed to be for your nipples originally, but then they kind of remarketed it and it's now for your lips, but just using that, but I tend to just use any lip balm that I've got lying around. So next we'll move on to primer. Now on a daily basis, I don't tend to faff around with like 1,000,001 primers, so the product that I use pretty much all the time is the Ombre Elise La Creme Concentrate, and I take, I don't know, kind of like 2p sizes maybe. This is essentially a moisturizer, but it also says it's a makeup primer as well, and that's kind of what I tend to use it for mostly. So I'm just gonna rub that all over my skin. It's so nice, it's so moisturizing, and my makeup always just sits really nicely on top. Then just depending on how my skin is looking that day, if I've got fairly large pores like around my nose or something, I will use the Benefit Porefessional. I only take a little bit, not too much, and I'll kind of just warm it up between my fingers and like tap it around various sections of my face that I want to fill in, which is mostly like my T-zone, kind of my nose, and also a little bit on my chin. This isn't something I do every day. It's kind of like, if I remember to do it, I'll do it. But it just makes my foundation look a little bit more flawless because it doesn't like sit in any pores or anything. And then just gonna quickly wet my beauty blender. This one is actually from Pure, I think. It came with the Cameo Contour Stick, and I really like it actually. I think it's probably one of the better sponges that I've tried. For foundation, I swear this hasn't changed in the longest time. It's the Milani 2-in-1 Conceal and Perfect. I'm running so low on it that I literally have to like scrape it out from the bottom, so I definitely need to pick up a new one. I've had a few questions before from you guys about where I get it from, and I got this one. I've literally had this bottle for like a year now. I got it from somewhere in America. I did like an online American shop, but when I pick this up again, I'm going to be getting it from Beauty Bay. That's where you can get it kind of in the UK. I wonder if the pump is working at all. Ooh, there's some left in the pump. Brilliant. So I'm just going to blend that in with a sponge, and as you can see, it's quite yellow toned, which I like because it means that I match the rest of my body. This sponge is so weird because it feels like crap. It feels like one of those really hard sponges that don't like bounce off your face nicely, but it applies the foundation really well. And it's got like a little corner bit so I can get right under my eyes. I'd say if you have like, oh my god, I literally look like a Simpson right now. If you have drier skin, then this foundation's probably more for you than if you have oily skin. My skin's fairly normal, so it just kind of works with me regardless. So I'm just gonna go over my eyes as well, because I don't actually use an eye primer on like a daily basis. I mostly just use like concealer and foundation. So next up we'll move on to concealer, and again, this pretty much hasn't changed in the past year. It's the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. I love this for my under eyes. Nothing covers them up quite like it, and as you can see, I am running quite low, so I have to give it like a good old squeeze. There it is. I always use my finger when applying this. Sometimes I'll go over the top with a sponge, but I find it applies better just with your finger. And as you can see, it's just like under eyes, gone. Again, I'd probably say if you have oily skin, then you might want to be a little bit cautious about this, but let's face it, I ain't getting any younger, so sometimes I do get like a little bit of creasing under my eyes. So just using like a more moisturizing concealer just means it won't like crack or look flaky or anything. And I'll just kind of blend any excess on my finger, just like down my nose or whatever. And then a new addition to my everyday makeup look is the Tarte Shape Tape. I love this stuff. I am like fully converted. So I like to pack on even more concealer with this, just kind of slightly underneath where I put the Bye Bye Under Eye. Do a little bit of highlighting, and then again, just use my sponge to kind of blend that out. Yeah, this is literally like my favorite base. Like, even though it's my everyday look, I'll use this for like any day. Like whether I'm going out, full glam, whatever, this is like my favorite go-to base. Next, I'm gonna set my under eye. So for this, I just use the Revolution Luxury Banana Powder. And what I do is I just take that and just kind of pop some into the lid. That is way too much, but I just like to swirl kind of like a little domed fluffy brush, and I'm gonna set that under my eyes. I'm just gonna dust that over my eye as well, just so I can go straight in with eyeshadow in a second. If you guys are wondering what brushes I'm using, then I have done a video all about like my favorite brushes that I use for my everyday look, so I'll leave a link to that video down below. And that powder costs like $5, and it's really good. Now I'm going to take a slightly bigger brush, and to powder the rest of my face, I'm going to be using the Lottie London Ready Set Go powder, which again is another favourite that I've been using for ages now. So I just tap some into the lid, and again I'm just going to swirl a big brush around there and just kind of pat it over the rest of my face. Then for contour, I'm sure you guys are so sick and tired of me using this, but of course, Too Faced Chocolate Bronzer and my big old iconic London fan brush. I don't even want to know how many times I featured this product in a video. It's like 100% my holy grail kind of contour bronzing powder. Next, I'm going to take my MAC Give Me Some bronzer and my Blank Canvas Cosmetics F42 brush, swirl that in, and just kind of pop that above where I just contoured. I don't tend to use too many MAC products. Like, I have quite a few of their products, I just don't use them on like a daily basis. But if you haven't tried anything from MAC before and you really want to pick something up, this and their Oh Darling highlighter, so good. Bronze up the old boobies. Next, of course, is my favorite thing to do, which is highlighting. So recently I have been loving the Ofra Rodeo Drive highlighter. So I'm just gonna take that, and you guys will see why. It's so ridiculously intense, you like barely even need to touch a brush in it. And I've not been highlighting my nose as much recently, so I'm just gonna take a little pencil brush. This is what I normally use to do my inner corner, and I'm literally just gonna like dot it right on the tip and kind of blend that out with my finger. And then while I'm here, I'll quickly just take that same brush and kind of work it under my brow bone as well, just to save time. And then take my finger and load up that milk mustache. I know it drives some people crazy when people just leave like the foundation on their lips, but I kind of prefer to do that because when I apply lipstick or whatever, it's just like a completely clear canvas. Then I'll move on to blush. I don't tend to use blush that much. Like, I tend to use it every day, but only the tiniest amount. And all I'm gonna do is just take the brush that I used for my bronzer, do a couple of taps, and kind of put that in between the bronzer and the highlighter, just to kind of connect the two. And then a lot of the time, I will just kind of press my sponge over the top as well, just to kind of press it all into my skin a little bit more. Next, I'm just gonna ever so slightly contour my nose. I don't do any contouring like on the sides or anything on a daily basis because I don't really feel like I need to. What I do though is just take a little bit of that Too Faced bronzer again and just kind of dust it on my septum, just so it kind of squishes it in a little bit, just makes it look a little bit more cute. Next, we're gonna move on to my brows. So my brows kind of go all over the place. They're quite long, and basically what I'm saying here is that I need to use a clear brow gel, whether I'm putting anything through my brows at all, like any color or whatever. I always have to use clear brow gel because otherwise I go outside, the wind gets to my brows and they just kind of just go all over the place. So I'm just using this one from Rimmel, and I tend to put quite a lot through them. And then I press them down, again, just so they kind of glue down and stay in place. Next, I'm just gonna take my Freedom Brow Pomade in the shade Medium Brown. Pretty similar to Anastasia. I do prefer Anastasia, but this is like a third of the price and there's not really much in it. And then I don't fill them in too much because I don't really need to, but I do like to higher my arch a little bit. So I'll kind of run that through my arch a little bit. Got like quite heavy lids here, so I find doing that just kind of lifts my eyes a little bit more. And then I also line under the front of my brow, and then just kind of blend that up with my finger. So as you can see, this brow with like the filled in arch and everything just looks higher than this one. I feel like it kind of gives me like the effect of Botox without paying all that cash. Go through with a little spoolie to make sure everything's nice and blended. And then because obviously we did my foundation before, sometimes like the front of my brows especially, where I don't really have that much product in, they can look a little bit like beige. So what I'll do is I'll just take like a tinted brow gel. This is the Maybelline Brow Precise Fiber Filler, and I'll just take that kind of through the front. Nothing major, just so it kind of tints the front of them a little bit. And then with whatever is left on the brush that I used for my pomade, I'll go under my lip. If you've been watching me for a while, you'll know that this is like one of my favorite things to do, just because it kind of creates more of a shadow, makes my lips look a little bit bigger. Next, for eyes, a lot of the time I will just use the Too Faced Chocolate Bronzer and kind of put that through my crease and be done with it, but that's a bit boring, so instead I'm gonna go in with my Makeup Geek eyeshadows. This is just a Freedom palette, and all I'm really gonna do is take this shade here, which I forget what it's called. I think this is Tiki Hut, yeah. So I'm just gonna take Tiki Hut on a fluffy brush and just kind of work that through the crease. Then I'll normally go in with one of these two shades. I think one of them is called Chickadee and the other one is Early Bird, so they're pretty similar, to be fair. I'm gonna go in with Chickadee, I think, and just kind of lightly run that over the lid. And I'm actually going to go back in with a little bit of that Too Faced chocolate bronzer. It's just a little bit more cool toned. And just run that over the crease again. I'm literally just using the same brush to do all of this because, let's face it, sometimes I just cannot be bothered to use like 5 million brushes for one eye look. I'm then just going to take a little bit more of that Too Faced chocolate bronzer and kind of run that on my lower lash line a little bit. Might take a little bit of Tiki Hut as well, just to kind of mix it up. I'll then grab my Ofra highlighter again and just take that on a little pencil brush and pack that right on the inner corner. That's like one of my favorite things to do. Just like ding. And maybe pack a little bit more on my brow bone as well. And that is just kind of like my perfect everyday eye look. Whether I'm going out, whether I'm filming videos, no matter what I'm doing, if in doubt, just chuck this on. Next for lashes, not gonna lie to you guys, on a daily basis, I don't really tend to wear falsies because my lashes are quite long anyway, so I don't really feel the need to. Recently, I have been loving the L'Oreal Lash Paradise Mascara. It's just so good. Kind of does everything I want a mascara to do, and it makes my lashes almost look fake. Like, the hype is real with this, guys. If you haven't tried it and you want a new mascara, give this a go because it is so, so good. Like someone just gave like Viagra to my lashes or something. They're like, doing. And then also quite a bit on my lower lashes as well. Then finally for lips, as you can see, I've been using this lip liner a lot. It's the NYX Suede Lip Liner in the shade Sandstorm. Really, really like the liquid lipstick with this as well. It's just kind of like a warm nude. Surprise, surprise. And I do love to overline my lips, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. I tend to go across my Cupid's bow. Kind of makes my lips look a little bit fuller. I'll kind of contour my lips a little bit. And just like put it on the outer part so that this bit again looks a little bit fuller. And then last but not least, for my lips recently, I have been loving this lipstick from Tarte. This one is in the shade Skinny Dip. It's like my perfect nude shade. Just go over the top, just kind of tap that in. And then sometimes I just go back over the top with the lip liner again, just depending on how I'm feeling that day. And that's pretty much it. Maybe I'll just add a little bit more highlighter. Yeah. Okay guys, so that is pretty much my everyday makeup look. Obviously, I don't tend to wear this makeup every single day of my life. Sometimes you'll see me out and I'll be like this. Sometimes you'll see me out and I'll be looking like a hot mess. So it all kind of depends on the day, but if I'm doing like a full makeup look, this is kind of what I go to every day. As always, you guys, if you enjoyed this video and if you maybe found it helpful, then please do give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you do want to see more of me because I upload all the damn time. Also, let me know what your favorite everyday makeup products are in the comment section down below because I would love to know. But apart from that, that's it from me. I love you guys and I will see you in the next one. Bye.